Hi folks. So today is a kind of a crappy day. It's still raining here in Maine, but today we're going to actually going to be doing some weed whacking while we try to beat the rain. Just because, boy, everything is growing wildly, and this is really the only opportunity I have to do it. So, but while I'm doing that, Jen and I decided we want to start doing a series. Now, we don't really know what this is going to look like over time, but in this video, we've put together a collection of recipes, simple recipes that she's done. Some of these we've put in previous videos, but we wanted to kind of collect them all and put them in one video. So while I'm out weed whacking, you guys are going to get to see Jen whip up some of her favorite recipes. And yeah, so enjoy.
So today I am making chive blossom butter. Let me show you how I do it. So I gathered up my chive blossoms today and I washed them up. I cut all the petals. I use about 4 or 5, depending on how much flavor I want in the butter, to each stick of butter. I also got some chives and cleaned those off. Add some chives to a couple of them. I'm doing about 4 of them today. Washed them and chopped them up. I dried them as best as I could, kind of patted dry with some paper towels. Basically, I just softened up some butter, the chives, and I'm gonna put them in the butter, mix it up, put it in a container, and I'm done. It gives a real pretty color and a nice flavor. One in the fridge, and the others I'm going to freeze, so that way we can enjoy the chive blossoms for a little bit longer. Now, in addition to the chive blossoms and or chives, you can also add granulated garlic to give it a garlic chive butter taste. But this way we're kind of saving the chive blossoms that only come out in the springtime, and able to kind of save them and use them and get a little taste of spring later in the year. That would be the garlic chive blossoms with the chives. Give us a nice flavor. It is so pretty. I'm sure this is going to taste really good on that homemade bread. Hey folks, so I am about to make some rolls for dinner tonight. We're gonna have some sloppy joes, and I started using this new recipe just a few days ago, and it's a little fluffier than my last bread recipe that I was using. So I'm gonna try to make some rolls out of this. So far in my bowl I have put 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and I'm about to put a teaspoon of salt, mix it up, and set it aside. In my cup here, I have put 1 cup of warm water, not too hot, you don't want to kill the yeast. I put 3 teaspoons of yeast, and I put 2 tablespoons of honey. I like to use honey versus the sugar, but you can use sugar in its place. Now I'm going to set it aside for about 10 minutes and let it bloom. Now that I've let it bloom for about 10 minutes, I'm going to add the yeasty mixture to my dry. So I've added the yeasty water to the flour. I also added 1 egg. Now instead of the egg, you can use a 1/4 cup of olive oil, but I used the egg to mix it up. So my parents were kind enough to get us a KitchenAid blender to help with my making dough for the bread. Now the KitchenAid came with this coated dough hook, and I didn't really like the coated dough hook. So my parents got me a stainless steel one, an aftermarket. Now I have found when I'm using this, the dough starts to creep up the dough hook and get into the motor area. So I came up with a solution. So Jason helped me out with this. We took an old coffee can lid, trimmed it up, put a hole in it, fed it over the dough hook, and we took a little O-ring and we push it down on there to hold this in place. I also put a little olive oil on here so the dough, if it does come up, it doesn't stick to the lid. And it seems to do a magnificent job. So as you can see, it stopped the dough from creeping up. Stayed down in the bowl. What had happened the first time was the dough got all the way up into here, and I had to stop it and push it back down several times during the mixing and kneading. But I basically let it mix. Once it was done mixing, I let it continue to knead it for about 5 minutes. So now I am going to cover it and let it rise for 3 hours. So it has been 3 hours and my dough has risen. So now the fun part, punch it down. Put a little flour on my surface, and I'm gonna get all my dough out. So normally I would kind of flatten this out in like a rectangle, and then I'm gonna roll it up and put it into a buttered loaf to make my loaf of bread. Well, this time I'm trying to make some dinner rolls. So I have some rolls for my sloppy joes tonight. And so I'm going to cut this into 6 pieces. So I will have 6 dinner rolls. Now I've already buttered my pans. I'm going to put 3 in each pan, because after I am done forming these, they are going to rise for another hour. So there's my 6 rolls. I'm gonna cover it up with plastic wrap. And that is where they will sit for another hour to do some more rising. Okay, they have been rising for an additional hour. This is what they look like. Those are going to be some pretty big rolls. So I'm going to put them in the oven. It's been heating up, so it's heated up to 350. They're going to cook for 20 minutes. After the 20 minutes, I'm going to take them out, brush them with some butter, back in for about another 5 minutes, and we'll see how things look. So they just finished their 20 minutes, so I'm going to put a little bit of butter on top. After I butter them, they're going back in the oven for about 5 minutes. And there you have the finished product. Once it cools off a little bit, I'll cut one open and show you the insides. Which one do you want?
I want the big one. There's only one real big one, yeah.
All right.
Go.
They're nice and soft. Look at that.
Wow. That's insane. Look at these. Beautiful.
Now we need to see if they hold up with Sloppy Joe.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Here we go. Sloppy Joe time. I wish I could tell you this is moose meat, but it's not. All right. So, you ready?
We're ready.
Okay, here we go. Bon appetit. That's delicious. I can see eating burgers, hot dogs, all of the above. That's really good.
I guess we don't get to buy buns anymore.
Nope, no more buns.
Do I get a thumbs up?
2 thumbs up. Hey folks, I'm back. There's the porch. It is actually awesome. With all the rain, we can actually see the beading taking place, which is exactly what we want. So like right here, see how that water is beading off? And that is exactly why we stained it. We wanted the water to bead off of it, and it's doing exactly what we wanted it to do. So now unfortunately it's gonna rain here in like 10 minutes or so. I got most of the weed eating that I wanted to get done, which is kind of cool. Unfortunately, once the rain comes, it's gonna rain the rest of the afternoon and into this evening, so I'm gonna have to go inside. But I really hope that you've enjoyed seeing Jen knock out some of her recipes. As the person eating them, I can tell you with 100% absolute certainty that the stuff is delicious. It just really is. And it's important to note that Jen used to cook when we were in the city, but she never made anything from scratch, not like this. And so she is learning this just as I am learning how to build stuff. And we're making this whole homesteading thing work, and we're figuring it out one day at a time. Well, all right, well folks, that's it for us. Stay tuned for the next video where we are going to attempt to raise the roof. All right, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you folks on the next video.